Good Thursday, everyone. Welcome to GardenStateWeather.com and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours. And looking over the forecast region this morning, we generally have cloudy skies of a lower variety as a warm front is approaching from the south this morning. And we have a little bit of light rain or drizzle around the region. It's very light and spotty. Most regions not receiving much of any precipitation at all at this point. Temperatures are generally running in the low to the mid 50s across the region, with the exceptions of the upper 40s across the interior Poconos and southeastern Pennsylvania. A little bit of isentropic lift ahead of the warm front and cold front today. We're already starting to see some light rain showers popping up and lifting to the north and east across portions of western Jersey into the Poconos, and also another batch here out and just south and approaching Harrisburg, Pennsylvania and State College this morning. Morning surface chart from weatherroanoke.com and digital atmosphere software shows nicely the isentropic lift occurring here from let's say western New York State all the way into the Poconos this morning. This is some warm air advection trying to make its way into the region on southerly winds out ahead of this cold front and storm system, which is occluding right now over the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan here, heading into the St. Lawrence River Valley. This storm system produced a lot of damage across the plains and the central United States yesterday, and snow in the Rockies too. We'll get to that in a moment. Close-up view this morning of the visible satellite as it passes overhead this morning, with a lot of low clouds across the region. And a little bit of lifting we can see in the water vapor channel as well, producing a little bit of spotty light rain showers, and the rain is expanding across the Pennsylvania region into northeastern, northwestern New Jersey and northeastern, central, northern New York, Pennsylvania border this morning. And as the storm system is moving towards Lake Michigan this morning and the Great Lakes, it's already produced a lot of wind and damage from thunderstorms and wind gust here, 65, 70 mile per hour wind gust. Hail, damaging thunderstorms, tree damage, you name it. That's been going on through this region from Missouri. Actually started out in Oklahoma. It's now moving up towards Milwaukee this morning and into Detroit area this morning as well, with all these showers and thunderstorms. And of course, behind that, in the cold sector of the storm yesterday, we had numerous reports of heavy snow across portions of Wyoming, Colorado, and northern New Mexico and Albuquerque as well. Watches, warnings, and advisories, south shore of Connecticut and north shore of Long Island, also the back bays of the New York Harbor here into New Jersey's metro area, Port Elizabeth and Port Newark here in Staten Island. Coastal flood statements for basically for this morning's high tide cycle, where we could find a little bit of coastal flooding in those areas. Meanwhile, out here, we have small craft advisories on our coastal waters this morning, and these small craft advisories actually have turned into gale warnings, and they'll remain in effect through most of today and tonight and early Saturday. And this is going to mean some choppy seas and also some very, very strong wind gusts here. And out on the New Jersey coastal waters this morning, we basically have gale warnings in effect also into the back bays here, the Chesapeake here, and this will last until Saturday. This is the remnants of Kate now into the northern Atlantic Ocean. Will continue to move away, and it's post-tropical at this point, and it will continue to its path into the northern Atlantic Ocean. On the aviational weather deck today, we already have IFR and MVFR conditions, and those will continue this morning and deteriorate as the moist southeast to south surface flow continues to develop. Forecasting mainly MVFR conditions for the morning and early afternoon hours as rain showers move in through the region. Conditions may bounce up to a VFR range for a period and then back down to IFR at times. The wind is forecast to become mainly southeast to south, as it's already doing at about 5 to 10 knots this morning, southerly at around 8 to 12 knots this afternoon, gust up to 20 knots by late morning and early afternoon in the mixing. Conditions forecasted to improve to VFR late afternoon hours, clearing anticipated for tonight. South to southwest winds at 8 to 12 knots, gust up to 20 knots before becoming westerly, southwesterly this evening. Friday and Saturday VFR, ceilings around 4,000 feet, may spread southeast. That's stratocumulus clouds on Friday, especially to the north and west of Philly. West to northwest winds at 15 to 20 knots, gust up to 25 to 35 knots. Batten down the hatches, folks, during the day, diminishing some each night. Less wind on Saturday night. Sunday and Monday VFR, west to northwest winds at 10 knots or less as high pressure is in control. Sunday becoming southerly on Monday. Right now, outside of Newark, it's 54, dew point 50, humidity 86%. The wind is southeast at 3. Few ceilings at 1,015, 1,500, and basically there's low clouds, and we've got some light rain in the forecast, and that will continue on and off. throughout the morning and early afternoon hours. So we're in the IFR conditions right now. Philadelphia is in VFR conditions, but expected to go over to MVFR at least for a time. 51 degrees, dew point 47, humidity 86%, wind also southeast at 3. Some mixed clouds broken at 13,000 and 18,000, light rain shower in the area. Strong winds developing across the region from late this evening right through Saturday morning. VFR conditions in place right now. Forecasted charts for the next 24 hours. Here's our occluded front with our deep low moving into the Great Lakes and eventually Quebec and the St. Lawrence River Valley, dragging the cold front through the region this afternoon and evening. Behind it, strong pressure gradient between this high pressure in the plains and this deepening low across southeastern Canada, northern New England. It's going to create a tight pressure gradient, very strong west to northwest winds moving into the region late this afternoon and lasting pretty much through the day on Friday, with strong wind gusts above 30 miles per hour at times. And the higher elevations, back the bridges also, and right along the immediate coast will experience the highest wind gust over the next 24 to 36 hours. If we move this ahead through the day, here comes the cold front through the region by early tomorrow morning. A few light rain showers across the region, generally less than a quarter of an inch. The story here is a secondary cold front moving in on Friday afternoon and evening, ushering in very strong winds, down-sloping lake effect rain or snow showers, stratocumulus clouds making their way into northeastern Pennsylvania. Could be some light drizzle or even a light snow flurry across the mountains of the Poconos and southeastern New York. Don't be surprised if you see that, but it won't last and it won't accumulate as secondary cold front and upper trough move through the region. By the time we get into the weekend, that's where things begin to really chill down. Temperatures back into the 30s at night and it's struggling to make it to 50 in the afternoon across most of the interior valleys and across the metropolitan areas as well. Again, downsloping lake effect snow and rain enhancement here, but moved away from our area, just remains with stratocumulus clouds, and then eventually all of this will begin to clear out by the day on Sunday. By the time we get to Sunday, high pressure is crested right over the region, a relaxation of the winds, and temperatures chilly in the 50s as the polar air mass takes hold. The air mass will begin to modify itself across the region into the early part of the week, with temperatures bouncing back to above and beyond 60 degrees. And we got another complex storm system moving up towards the Great Lakes by the midweek part. That will probably drag a cold front through here sometime on Thursday, with an increase of cloud cover Wednesday night and Thursday, and probably an outlier shower as well, but most of the energy will be focused across the Great Lakes, the plains, and eventually southeastern Canada and Quebec and Ontario into the northeastern Canadian provinces here, and very little influence of precipitation in our region. So not only are we going to see a lot more leaves falling over the next 24 to 36 hours, we're definitely going to find branches and some small tree limbs as well come down in some of those stronger winds over the next 36 to 48 hours too. So just be mindful of all of that. It is fall and it is going to turn quite windy here as well. For everything live, it's GardenStateWeather.com, GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. Be safe out there. We'll see you bright and early on Friday morning.